Hello, this is Prof. Mac, and I'm going to be talking about the Unit 1 project for EDUC 2800. This project is going to be a collaborative-based assignment where individuals will have certain tasks they have to take care of within an assigned group. Your assigned group will likely be larger than your CLD group because there are 16 some odd topics, and I want to be able to divide those up. This is a teaching project, so what you will do is you'll take your assigned topics and you will teach them to your peers. There are a few things that you need to have within your lessons. The first is that you'll have to have at least one example lesson from a grade 1 through 9 math textbook. So that means for one of the topics, only one of them, you need to get a math textbook for the grade level that you are intending to teach within, or the range in which you intend to teach in. For example, if you're intending on teaching maybe 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math, or maybe 4 through 9 math, if you just want to be broad like that within your major, or maybe you have a specific desire, like you want to be a first grade teacher. So find a first grade math book, and then find a lesson that relates to one of the topics. Now, in first grade, it may be hard to find a situation where you're working with mutually exclusive events. That might be the one that you don't use. You may look for a different topic of the set of topics that you're working on. Or if you feel like you can't find any example, then find something that uses some of the skills that you'll need to have later on down the road when students are going to learn about mutually exclusive events in another grade. So you can apply that fairly liberally as long as I feel like it promotes understanding of the concept itself. Secondly, you will use a manipulative set at least once during your instruction. So once again, for at least one of your topics, you need to have a manipulative that you're going to use within your lesson. Third thing you need to do is you'll need to use at least one teaching strategy. I've used several teaching strategies so far leading up to the midterm, and you need to choose from one of those and use that within your lesson. So choose one of those and then implement that while you're doing your lesson. The last thing is you'll need to have at least one example problem for each topic you're in charge of presenting. So what that means is after you're finished instructing on your topics, maybe it be 3 topics, then you will assign problems for your peers to work on. You will either create the problem or find the problem from somewhere, and you'll have them execute that problem and you'll have the answer so you can provide support. One of the most important things that I can't stress enough to you is that this is a reteaching type assignment. You're not teaching it for the first time. So this is not going to be a complete lesson. My intention is for you to have just a better feel of how to instruct math without really having to do a long lesson plan, worry about some of the other things that go into a lesson, but really just worry about the actual teaching part of a lesson. Now, I'm intending for this to take just a few minutes. So if I break groups up, I want one person to maybe take about 5 or 6 minutes or so. And you may need a little bit more time than that, but I'm only going to give the entire group about an hour to present all of the topics. So keep that in mind, and that's one of those aspects where you're going to need to work with teammates and group mates to make sure that you stay within that 60-minute time frame. To kind of give you a better understanding of how this is going to work, the first day that we go over this will be day 10 of our assigned calendar, so our assignment schedule. So if you go to that assignment schedule, you'll see day 10 is when we're going to start. So then day 11 is going to be where the first assignment is due related to the project. And that will be a checkpoint. Checkpoints are designed to make sure that you're not procrastinating and that you're dealing with the content and reflecting on things in a direction that I'd hope that you will. So when watching this video and then also going to the CMC on day 10, after that you will then start your planning and you'll have to fill out a survey form that will fulfill the duties of checkpoint 1. Then on day 11, or the next day, the day after I've introduced, the next class meeting, after I've introduced the project, you will work on lesson prep within your groups. And then on day 12, you'll have, so between 11 and 12, you'll have to do another checkpoint, and it'll be due by the beginning of class on day 12. Day 12 will be the day that you will be teaching your lesson. So I'm going to introduce on one day, let you start planning. I'm going to let you work in class for the whole entire class time on day 11 with your groups, and then on day 12 you're going to present. On day 12, after you've presented, I will give you a review assignment. If we have any time left in class, you'll be able to work on the review assignment and ask questions of me. This is basically how the project will work out. Now, I wanted to show you one other resource, which is also on Moodle, in addition to just the project outline, and that is a rubric. When you are presenting, your peers within your group will kind of be tabulating a score for you in the back of their mind based upon how you've done on your lesson. And so you'll have all of these categories to kind of choose from in terms of this rubric. So you'll have 3, 2, and 1, and then you'll also have criterion to assess within that 3-point scale to determine a score for your partners. Now, I will also assess as best I can while floating throughout the room and kind of watching each of you present. And we will tabulate those scores and kind of basically do an average score, and that will be your assessment for this project. I will also have some better understanding of some of these first criterion because I will have seen what you've put on your checkpoints, and your checkpoints will be related to these right here. So you will have an opportunity to be assessed on this. This is what you'll be using to assess your peers. I also have that general schedule again laid out at the bottom of the rubric. So I will print these off and have them ready for you to assess your partners on that day, but you'll want to look at that and have a better understanding of how you will be assessed, so therefore there aren't any surprises come project day, or presentation day I should say. So what you need to do to be ready for this is basically go through the rubric and go and read through the outline for the project before we take a trip to the CMC. The CMC is basically going to be a time where you get to understand what's there and what resources you have as a teacher and as a teacher candidate. And then also you'll have some time to look for resources that you can use based upon the topics that you choose to present within your group.